2 of Let's Talk Ball. Now, the topics we're going to go over today is Arne Slot. Should Liverpool stick or twist? Cole Palmer is getting homesick in London, but he wouldn't consider a move back to Man City if Pep Guardiola is still manager. Diddums. And the referee that made that awful decision that went against Man City for a penalty has not been picked for up-and-coming fixtures this weekend in the Premier League. Now, Slot, he won the league at his first year in Liverpool, but I think everybody knows that that team was still swamped in the DNA of Jurgen Klopp. I mean, a little different. Slot in his first year, Slot's Liverpool in his first year, it had the aggression of a Klopp team, but it had the calmness of the way Slot wanted Liverpool to play. It's like the Dutch way. He closed out games well, and he was getting praised for it. I mean, Gravenberch was reborn in the number 6 position. Salah, he was firing on all cylinders, and Van Dijk's mistakes, they wasn't highlighted as much as they're being highlighted now. But for most of all, Slot didn't have no expectations. I mean, it was literally a free hit. No one expected him to win the league in his first year, especially with no signings made. That's the thing. So, to be fair, Slot could have really had. He could have took a swing at it, missed, fell, hit his head, had some stitches, and no one would have said a thing or laughed at him about doing it. So there's no pressure. Once pressure is applied, everything changes. I mean, look at Man City. We didn't have the best season last season. We've been hit and miss this season. Sometimes we look like we're there, and sometimes we look like shades of last season. Pep at one time started playing a low block, or what, definitely a low block compared to City's high lines, and it just goes with the pressure. Now, when pressure is applied, people start making the wrong decisions, start second guessing themselves, and that's where Slot may be at. Now, how could anyone expect Slot to win the Premier League in his first year when Jurgen Klopp, who had a lot of resources, he had a lot of backing by Liverpool, and he only won it once? So it was never for Slot to win the Premier League in his first season, but he did do it. And then after he did it, to give him a hell of a lot of money. Spent something like 500 million in his first transfer window. Well, in his first transfer window that they allowed him to spend. He bought Isaac, one of the best strikers in the Premier League at the time. He's been a Liverpool flop, and now he's injured. Wirtz, a lot of teams went after Wirtz. Liverpool got him. Hasn't looked anywhere near the shade he was at Leverkusen. Was it Kurzik, the left back from Bournemouth? He doesn't look a shade of himself. Frimpong, he doesn't look a shade of himself of what he was the seasons prior to Liverpool buying him. So all these are adding up with Slot. Now, these reports that Liverpool are going to stick with him, which is probably the best. I mean, no club, I don't think, wants managers coming in mid-season, and managers probably don't want to take a team on mid-season, even though some look at it as it could be a situation where, at least he gets to see what he wants to work with, and then he can move whoever on in the summer. But that didn't always work out like that, because you could put someone on the sideline and he just won't refuses to leave. Players also have contracts at clubs. So obviously Xabi Alonso is waiting in the wings. He had a terrible term at Real Madrid. He's been sacked. I'm sure he's eager to get his hands on a big club and be back managing in a league such as the Premier League. He's got an history with Liverpool. He got the best out of Wirtz at Leverkusen. He got the best out of Frimpong. So I'm sure he's just waiting for Sky News to say Slot's been dismissed. But there is reports that Liverpool are going to stick with him until at least the summer. But listen, once the expectations are so high, which if he probably didn't win the league in his first year and didn't sign no one, but he made Champions League, the expectations wouldn't be so high for him. But the fact that he's won the league and he's spent 500 million, now the club has probably gone from, oh yeah, if you didn't win the league, right, you made top four last season. Now we're going to challenge for the league. We're going to give you this 500 million, and we expect you to challenge for the league, and we expect you to go far in the Champions League. That probably shifted from, right, we've won the league this season. We're going to give you 500 million. Go and win the league again, and get very far or as further as possible in the Champions League. And when the results of now, we might not even make Champions League football. Is raised the levels for him, which he might not be able to reach. And when you invest something like 500 million or just over, or whatever it was, around that sort of money, and you don't qualify for the Champions League, that could damage the club. I mean, Liverpool, it just was released that they actually made the most revenue this last year. Was it last year or this year, out of all the top clubs in England? But same goals. It's going to damage. It's going to damage them with a higher wage bill. They've just re-signed Salah. They just re-signed Van Dijk, and if they don't make Champions League football, then it could hurt them going forward for the next few years, depending on what they make in revenue. But Champions League football is a massive income when it comes to football teams and clubs. So yeah, I do think it looks like they're gonna stick with him. They'd probably be stupid not to, because like I said, managers don't want to take on clubs mid-season. Results, they've got Man City next. Well, sorry, they haven't got Man City next. Got Man City in a few weeks. In the Premier League, to be fair, Man City haven't got a great record at Liverpool. If he loses that there, then anything could happen with him. I mean, and also Slot brought in a lot of key players at once in one transfer window. And in the past, he has said he only likes, he only likes to work with a small group of players. So that kind of goes against what he believes, because if he's brought all these players in challenging for spaces, I mean, he brought TK, then Isaac. You're gonna have TK seemed like he hit the ground running. You're gonna have these players fighting for these spaces. Isaac's been injured, but long before that, he was one of the top Premier League strikers, which makes it even harder for Slot, because you've gone out there and you've got one of the best in the league, and he just hasn't made it work. He hasn't made it work for him. Then Gueye, they bottled signing Gueye. I'm happy they bottled signing Gueye, but surely Gueye was a transfer they had to get over the line. Van Dijk, he's going through his issues. He's not looking the same. He's making more and more mistakes each game. Konate, he looks like he's going to leave. There's rumours that he's going to see out his contract. I think this is his last year. So Gueye literally said his medical was almost done, and for some reason someone called him, it's off. It's like, surely that's a position you have to fill before you go and buy the Isaacs, before you go and buy the TKs or whoever before these, you struggle in defense. Robertson, it looks like he could leave to go to Tottenham. This reports that it was off. Now there's reports that it could still happen. So yeah, Alonso will definitely be waiting in the wings. He'll want to manage Wirtz again. I'm sure he'll want to manage Frimpong. I'm sure he feels he could get the best out of them in the Premier League, and I'm sure he feels he could take this Liverpool team on and do what he done with Leverkusen. Time will tell. We will see. We will see how it goes off with how it pans out with Slot. But yeah, and now moving on to Cole Palmer. Now, there's reports that Palmer wants to leave Chelsea because he's homesick. Looks like he wants to join Man United. Makes sense, because he's a Man United fan. But there's also reports saying that he wouldn't consider a move back to Man City unless Pep Guardiola leaves. Didums, like, no Man City fan is choosing Cole Palmer over Pep Guardiola. For one, like, let's not get twisted. Cole Palmer had a decent first season at Chelsea. He done well, scored a good few penalties, became Pen Palmer, and next thing, everyone's lauding over him. Hasn't been the same since. I mean, Esteval, he looks like the talent at Chelsea now. I'm sure Chelsea probably wouldn't even mind cashing in on Palmer, and maybe not in the winter window, but in the summer window, and giving Estevao the reins, and getting as much for Palmer as possible. I mean, what did they pay? 40 million? They'll probably double that right now for him, or in the summer. So I'm sure everyone will be happy in that situation. He can go to his boyhood club, what he loved, as in Man United, and yeah, he can crack on because we're happy over here. We're happy with Pep. We're happy. Well, I'm speaking on majority for the majority of City fans, I think. But yeah, we're rather have Pep than Cole, and if it come to a decision, that's the one we're sticking with. So yeah, Cole, you need to worry about getting in the England team, which I doubt you're gonna do. I doubt you're gonna make the World Cup. So I doubt it's gonna happen. I think you're the ones that will be on the chopping block. I mean, there's a good few players that's in that position now. You got Foden, you got Rodgers. You know what I mean? There's a few that the Bellingham. So yeah, you just worry about Chelsea, Man United, because you don't have to worry about being considered for City. And the other thing is like, what makes you think that Man City, or what makes these reporters think that Man City would even consider signing Cole Palmer again? Like, City don't have a history of going back in for players. What is I know we did it with Gundogan, but it's more like with City. If you leave, we all go our separate ways. Simple, and we don't really come back. I mean, Gundogan, he came back because of what he'd done for City in the past. City didn't want to leave him in the lurch. They probably felt like, you know what, we owe this guy Palmer. It's not the same. It's not the same. You didn't even score a Premier League goal for City. So yeah, you come up through the ranks, but you did nothing to prove. And to be fair, apart from the good season you had, you done really nothing in football to prove that you can make all these demands. But anyway, yeah, Cole Palmer, go to United, mate. I'm sure you'll be more than happy there. Now, the referee was, I don't even know, Faray Halam. Now, Faray Halam, the referee that officiated Man City vs Wolves, as not being selected to officiate any other Premier League game or fixture this weekend. So now everyone thought that he wasn't picked due to the terrible decision he made in not awarding Man City a penalty for the handball of the Wolves player. Apparently not. Apparently, supposedly, he was never in line to officiate another top flight game this weekend as part of the PGMOL's approach to phasing in referees. But the problem with that is, hold on. So you let this amateur ref officiate the Man City game that was so important on the fact of we've just lost 2 games. We're chasing Arsenal in a title race, and you've put an amateur ref in, which made an awful decision that could have swayed the game. It didn't, but could have ended up swaying the game to officiate such an important game at an important time for Man City. Why not select him to officiate the Arsenal game? This amateur ref. Why not let him go and practice on 2 mid-table teams? Why select this amateur to practice his decision making in such an important game in a title race for Man City? No, what I don't get it. Well, you don't phase him in such an important game for a team that is in a title race. Let him practice on another team. Let him practice on teams that mid-table teams where it's not going to really affect if they get relegated or if they go for a title. It's not going to affect them. Let him practice on them. Don't let him practice on a team that's chasing Arsenal for the league. What sense is that? And now he's being phased in. Like, so what games are you going to officiate next? Probably Man City. I bet he's not officiating an Arsenal game. I bet he's not practicing his decision making on an Arsenal team, is he? No. So it's just a shit. It's just a joke. The PGMOL, the Premier League, it's just shambles, absolute shambles. But anyway, that was EP2. Please like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you for episode 3. Thanks a lot.